considering setting up Clawdbot, or you have just deployed OpenClaw on your hosting or VPS, congratulations. But you might notice a problem. Out of the box, OpenClaw can be expensive, insecure, and kind of generic if you don't set it up right. You might have even bought a Mac Mini for it, but you don't know how to configure it correctly. Some people online report that they're spending over $300 to $700 per month, and that the bot is not really personalized enough and can't get anything done for them. And that's because without personalization, it's just another chatbot. But in this video, I will show you exactly the critical configuration that fix all of this. And I'm trying to help you make your OpenClaw more secure, cheaper, and actually useful. Let's get into it. If you don't have OpenClaw installed already, here is how it's done. The easiest and one of the safest way to do this is via a VPS. And I'm using Hostinger for it because they made it incredibly easy. Click on the link in the description and you can use the one-click Docker deployment. So you don't have to deal with any complex terminal commands or manual configuration. This selects the KVM2 VPS, which has enough RAM and storage for you to comfortably run OpenClaw. For 1 month, the pricing is $9.99 per month, but if you select 12 months, you will get a discount. And I talked with Hostinger and they're giving us an additional 10% if you're using the coupon code MOLUCAR. Simply enter that right here and then click deploy. You go through these configuration steps, copy this access token, set up your API key for OpenAI or Anthropic or whichever one you prefer, and click configure. After a few minutes, your private VPS is up and running and it already has OpenClaw installed on it. Simply click on this button right here and insert your access token that we copied earlier. And there we have it. We have the OpenClaw terminal up and running. But now to the exciting bit. We need to configure this properly because right now it's wide open, burning through API credits whenever I type a message, and it doesn't really know who I am or who you are and what you need to do. So let's fix that. I put together 15 different configurations and messages that you can give OpenClaw right now in order to be more secure, be more useful, and also save you more API credits by using more efficient models. And these configurations are really the difference between a toy project and a production AI assistant that actually saves you time and money. Let's type in our first message. Everything that we're covering today is covered in my Ultimate OpenClaw playbook. This doesn't only have an explanation of what this is and when it was renamed from Clawdbot to Moldbot to OpenClaw, but we also have a detailed description on how to set this up on Hostinger in order to switch between different AI models with one API key. And I cover a bunch of different use cases that you can see right here, as well as a detailed OpenClaw cost optimization guide. And I know this seems a bit complex, so I condensed this into 15 different messages that I recommend anyone to set up first. And I put them all in this guide that you can access for free down below with copy and pastable different messages. So let's get right into it and let's first start with the security audit. And this is what our browser looks like. You can get started by typing anything. I'll simply start with saying hi. And as we can see here, it's fully connected, it came online, and it's asking me a few questions. And you can simply answer it in plain English. And for now, I'm just gonna call it OpenClaw, but you can always change this later. And I want it to be friendly, concise, and the emoji I'll give it is a claw. Hit send. It's asking me follow-up questions, but I'm gonna go straight into my 15 first messages to show you exactly what you need to do. The first thing is to run a full security audit, and you can copy exactly this prompt. This is essential because it helps you stay more secure and discover any vulnerabilities that your current setup might have. And I'm simply gonna copy this right here and paste it into the chat and hit send. It takes a few minutes, and here are the security audit results. As you can see here, it found 1 critical, 4 warnings, and 1 informational thing. And then it went ahead and fixed all of them, so it made the allow insecure auth false, it logged file permissions to this, it included this gateway bound to loopback, and the token auth already enabled. I'm not a security researcher or an engineer, so please do your own research because anything you're doing with OpenClaw might be insecure, and you definitely don't want to include any sensitive information that you don't want anyone else to expose on your OpenClaw. So please keep that in mind, but having it on a VPS is already helpful by making that division. Create a new session by clicking the new session button right here, and it now has a new session. You can see here, new session has started, and it's currently still on the main agent right here. Now let's set up the environment variables. Click copy here, and this will tell it to set up a local .env file with placeholders for the Anthropic key, the OpenAI key, the OpenRouter key, Telegram token, and OpenClaw gateway token. And it's then going to update the OpenClaw JSON to reference them with this syntax instead of hard coding them directly into your OpenClaw JSON file. And this is super common with any web development because you don't want to expose your keys. And I'm simply going to copy this text, paste it in here, and hit send. And we're already including the OpenRouter API key as well as the Telegram bot token in order to connect it to our phone later. It now tells us that it's done. It created a different .env placeholder for the different keys, and it set the permissions so only that I can read or write this. It then updated this, and it's now asking me if I want to restart OpenClaw gateway, so it picks up the new .env values depending on how your service is launched. So all you have to do is simply say, yes, please restart, and we can see my message right here. And I just got the message that the gateway restarted successfully and is reachable again. Let's test it real quickly with what's my name, and it's back online with my name right here. Now let's set some safety guardrails in place. I'm back back at my guide and I'm giving it this safety guardrails prompt. I'm telling it to add a few rules to my Soul.md file, and these are the rules that I'm giving it early on. You can always change this later, but this is a good starting point. And the reason why we're doing this is to not run destructive commands so that it's not able to delete files. It's also not supposed to access any of my password managers so that it can copy all of my banking apps or my SSH keys or anything like that. Also don't want it to make any purchases, and not to run in endless loops. So I'm telling it to stop after a certain amount of failed attempts, and I'm also telling it to log every shell command so that I can access this later in my debugging mode. I'm also giving it a soft limit of $5 a day in API usage, and to notify and ask me before exceeding this. And I'm giving it some soft guardrails to prevent from prompt ejections, and this is not guaranteed, but this is a good starting point. I'll simply copy this and paste it into the chat. I hit send, and if you're wondering if you can access all of this with your phone, I'll get to the part where we talk about the Telegram connection in just a bit. Here we go. We can see that the safety overrides are complete, and it updated the Soul.md file. It added the 7 safety rules right here. Now the next part to make OpenClaw super helpful for you and very personalized is by giving it a bit more information about you and what you're going to use it for. And you can do that with 2 prompts and a few follow-up prompts based on the questions it asks you. Simply copy the text where you create a user.md file. I'm going to create a new session for this, and I'll type this in right here. Hit send. And now simply answer the questions that it gives you. I told it that my name is Mo, the time zone is America, Los Angeles. I'll tell it that I live in San Francisco. I'll share a bit about what I do in the day-to-day, and you can also skip things if you want to update them later. Simply say skip this. Now we can see that it's done. It wrote the user.md file. And if we want to access that, we can go to the OpenClaw Workspace /User.md. And if you want to access it visually, simply go to the agents, files, and find your user.md file. And it has all of the information we just inserted right here. But now let's create the soul of your AI agent. And this is exactly the instructions that tells it how to behave and how you want it to feel and how it operates. This is kind of like your Clawd.md file if you're using Claw code. Go back to chat, go over here and click on this create Soul.md with cost controls file. Simply paste this in once again. And this time it didn't require any clarifying questions. Now to an important bit that helps you manage your costs. And I have a very simple prompt that I'm giving it right here. But if you want the full context of how to control costs the best, I have this separate guide right here that I'm also leaving in the description for free for you to check out. And I will take and copy this in order to reroute to specific models. For example, Sonnet, Opus, Haiku, Flash, and Minimax. However, this requires you to set up OpenRouter first or connect all of your API keys to these different services. I'm going to use OpenRouter for this. If you haven't done this yet, just skip this step and come back later, but this will definitely help you save a bunch of cost on your API credits by using cheaper models for the day-to-day operations. If you already have your OpenAI keys set up to this, simply tell it to use the mini model for your day-to-day operations. And I created 2 options of this. One is the Anthropic Haiku model, and the other one is the OpenAI Mini. Simply copy this, go back to your session, and paste that in right here. As you can see here, this tells it to use ChatGPT Mini for the heartbeats and to run the heartbeat every 30 minutes instead of every 5 or every 10 minutes during work hours, and that the heartbeat should only check for any urgent messages. We can see here that the heartbeat model is set to ChatGPT 5 Mini, the cheapest option, and is scheduled for every 30 minutes. You can verify that you're using this model by asking what model are you using. And it's telling me here that it's using GPT 5.2. If I want GPT 5.2 Mini to be as my default model, I can simply give it this prompt. Now the default model is GPT-5 Mini, and if I ask it what model are you using, it now tells me that it defaults to GPT-5 Mini. Cost optimization for your models is essential, and if you want me to make a separate video on that and showing you how to set up OpenRouter and other things and configure a bunch of different AI models for specific tasks, let me know down in the comments. And before I'll show you how to connect this to your phone via Telegram, let's first run one more command that optimizes my whole workspace so I don't run up a huge bill with my API credits. And I can simply do this by trimming the fat and auditing all of my files in order to keep everything to less than 5 kilobytes. And this can sometimes save me up to 10 tokens per message, and this adds up super fast. Copy this and paste this in here. It's going to do an audit, and it's going to look at my Soul file, my user file, my tools file in order to check that my total workspace is less than 5 kilobytes. As you can see here, it's looking through all of the config files, and currently my user files are less than the requested, so we should be good to go. Now to the exciting bit, let me show you exactly how to connect your Clawdbot to Telegram. I'm going to start a new session for this once again, and I can either give it this entire prompt, or I can give it a very simple prompt, and that says connect to Telegram. If you haven't done this before, I recommend that you tell it to give you the exact instructions, and we can just follow them step by step. In order to do this, you need a Telegram account, and we already have one right here, and I just follow the steps step by step. First, it asks me to open Telegram and start a new chat with Botfather. Click on new chat, and I'll type in Botfather. I'll look for the Botfather chat, click on new chat, and click on start. We first need to start this. We can select new bot, and we can give it a name. Keep in mind that it needs to end with bot. So I'm going to call it my OpenClaw ML123 bot, and I'll give it a shorter name this time. Now it says done. Congratulations on configuring your bot. You can find it at this link, and it gives me this access token down here. You can now copy this, and you want to store this somewhere secure. And all you need to do is paste your Telegram bot token right here and save this. It now says that a Telegram is configured, it's running, and the last start was just now. And now that it's configured, we can simply test it by typing something here. I'll ask it, what is your name? And we can see here that it gave me, my name is OpenClaw, your assistant. What can I help you with today? And we can also see my message come in right here with the conversation label ID, and it shows me the answer of what it responded with. And we can also access this now on our phone. Simply click on the OpenClaw bot name and type in any questions. How can you help me? Send that message, and we see it both on the phone, we see it on our Telegram on the computer, as well as on the conversation for Telegram. How can you help me? And it tells me exactly, I can research, summarize plans, etc. And we're almost done, but let me show you how you can access the web and a few more power prompts that most power users configure early on in order to get the most out of their OpenClaw. To set up web search, you can either use Perplexity, the Brave API, or Tavali, and you can either follow my prompts right here or check the OpenClaw documentation directly. I'm going to use Perplexity for this, so I'm going to copy my API key and insert that in the variables. And then I'll simply use this prompt in order to configure my Perplexity. Paste this in right here and hit enter. And we can see that everything is done already, and we'll ask it to look for 3 noteworthy news stories from this week. And here we have 3 noteworthy AI stories from February 19th, and we can see that these are up to date by the source, and if we click on the link, we're being redirected to that webpage. Other power features and prompts you can give it are the following. You can set up a morning briefing that gives you an up-to-date information on anything that you wanted to, for example, calendar events, if you have them configured, urgent messages, weather updates, or any top priorities based on your to-do list or your context that you're dealing with. You can also enable memory search and install backups and include health checks with the following commands. But the one thing that I recommend everyone to do is to do a memory flush, which compacts your memory so that you don't overuse the memory too much. And in order to do that, you can simply use this system. Go over to your OpenClaw control, create a new session, and insert this prompt. And it now tells me that it implemented the system and it created 3 tiers of different memories, and it's now going to compact your memory so it doesn't use too many API tokens on all of your requests. If you want me to go into any of these specifics in detail or give an even more comprehensive prompt, let me know down in the comments, and feel free to access any of the resources that I've mentioned down below. If you want to create your own VPS, use Hostinger with the link below as well, and this will support the channel. And even though they've sponsored this video, I've tried to set up Clawdbot in a bunch of different ways with terminal commands and everything, and this is one of the easiest ways to get started. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know down below. And I'm actually currently working on another in-depth guide on OpenClaw, so subscribe to this channel if you want to see that. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.